We thought it would be a good time to bring in architect Kent Kovacs from Flansburgh and Associates. Kent has been with this project since its conception. He knows this building inside and out. Let's take a walk through with Kent to get all the fine points of this proposed school building.
This is a walkthrough of the new Holbrook pre-K through 12 school. It's a great project with two independent school wings, one for the pre-K 5, the other is an independent 6 through 12 wing. So we walk around the building. This wing is the 612. It's a two-story building. It has a dedicated parent pickup drop-off, bus, and entry. Here we have the auditorium with stage house for performing arts, a new gymnasium, also new district offices. As we rotate around the building, this is the pre-K through 5 wing. This wing has two dedicated play areas for pre-K and 1 and a dedicated play area for grades 1 through 5. This is an artist rendering of the feel and spirit of the school, paying close attention to material and scale. Now we'll enter into the pre-K 5 wing. Through the vestibule, this is the point of control and security. Into the library, we see the use of vibrant colors and materials as important for establishing the feel for this school. As we walk down the hallway, we'll enter into a general classroom. Here you can see natural light, smartboard technology, flexible furniture. And now we'll enter into the cafeteria space. It's a dedicated cafeteria space for this school with kitchen, seating for all students, and a stage component for performing arts. So the students can have a stage production without going into the other building. Here we'll enter into the 612 building. Again, through the main entrance is a vestibule for security. You'll see in this animation that there's breakout spaces, spaces that are for collaborative work, such as this Team Commons to the left. And here we get a look at the STEM Commons. STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. We have the robotics lab and science labs converge at this one point. And you can see the students working on a robotics experiment. This could be a really exciting space for the kids. Now we'll enter into the shared core portion of the building that comprises of the cafeteria, the auditorium, gymnasium, and media center. You can see the gymnasium above and the cafeteria. Here's a look at the feel for the space, an abundance of natural light, the play with material, with wood paneling. And as we go up the stairs, we see the gymnasium for grades 6 through 12, bleacher seating for 500, the fitness room, and the media center. We envision many of the spaces you've just seen to have an added benefit for community use. The need for the project is to establish a long-term solution for your deteriorating schools. It's also to avoid the loss of high school accreditation and provide educational spaces that meet the MSBA state standards. This slide speaks to the size of the school. The existing elementary schools are 31% below the MSBA standards. The existing junior-senior high school site is 21% below the MSBA standards. And a new pre-K 12 option will increase educational spaces by 44,000 square feet to meet the MSBA requirements. Advantages of a pre-K 12. This consolidates resources in order to provide additional services and space. It also allows faculty and staff and specialists to become more accessible to students. In addition, it provides state-of-the-art security for safety of the students and will retain great teachers. The value of an accredited high school. This assures parents, students, and the community members that the town provides a quality educational program. It also assures colleges that graduates of that high school were provided with an educational program that maximizes students' learning. And it's shown that a town that loses accreditation has an impact on the property values. The New England Association of Schools and Colleges, they're the group that conducts the evaluation for accreditation. And since 2005, the junior senior high school has been on probation. Here's a list of points from a lengthy report that mainly speak to the conditions of the existing school, that this school, over 50 years old, is not conducive for effective learning. Each of the existing schools were evaluated by the architect and engineers. The engineers consisted of a structural engineer, mechanical, electrical, fire protection. They created a lengthy report, about 1,000 pages, and evaluated the schools, each approximately 50 to 60 years old. They all have similar conditions. They have leaky windows, leaky roofs, ADA accessibility issues, and as you can see from these slides, there's falling ceiling tiles, there's ponding on the roofs, there's noisy mechanical equipment, cracks at the foundation. The exterior envelope, this would be the brick and the glass, lacks insulation. And those were all important parts of the evaluation process to determine that these 3 schools needed to be replaced. The design consolidates your 3 existing schools onto one site. This is the junior senior high school site. It's proposed that there's a pre-K through 5 academic house, a 6 through 12 academic house, and a community wing that serves the 6-12, but also the community. It has an auditorium, a gymnasium, a media center, and the district offices. Each of those 3 components can be internally separated with doors that can be locked and alarmed, and they have their own dedicated exterior entrances. The new building is highlighted in gray with the academic houses indicated. What I want to focus on is the pre-K 5 area. That's a pre-K 5 dedicated drop-off for parents. There's a dedicated bus drop-off separated from the vehicles for 8 buses. There's the main entry. Also, 2 play areas, one for pre-K and kindergarten, the other for grades 1 through 5. There's a continuous loop road around the entire building, and this length is necessary to accommodate the traffic for pickup and drop-off. This also reduces any backup onto South Franklin Street by being able to pull those cars off of South Franklin faster. Now let's look at the 6-12 area. There's a dedicated bus drop-off, main entrance, and parent drop-off. The 2 main entrances that are established in this plan, they're about 400 feet apart, so there's some good distance between these 2 schools. We have the new athletic facilities located along the southern portion of the property, a new multi-purpose field with running track, a new baseball, and new softball. This site plan speaks to grades 6 through 12 during pickup and drop-off. The loop road is highlighted in blue. You'll see red dash lines. Those indicate the 52 car queuing that's required for the grades 6 through 12. So that's the amount of cars necessary on the day-to-day pickup and drop-off. And this loop road provides the appropriate length needed to accommodate all this activity. And here's a look at the pre-K 5 site plan relative to parent pickup and drop-off. You can see the red dash lines indicate approximately 30 cars for pickup and drop-off. And one important aspect that goes to separating the 2 schools, the 6-12 will start 1 hour prior than the pre-K 5. The new school is proposed on the junior senior high school site. The existing school, as you can see, is highlighted in gray. The red dash line indicates the construction fence. This is the area of construction activity. There is a construction access for vehicles. That's the blue highlighted roadway. This allows a separation from the day-to-day activity of the school from that of the construction activity. Indicated in black will be parking and the loop roads and service, again, to serve the day-to-day activity of the existing school. The two existing academic wings are located on the south side of the site and provide some distance between the construction activity, and this will help reduce the noise impact on the classrooms. And here's an aerial view of the completed campus. After the existing junior high school is demolished, new fields will be constructed along the southern edge of the property. Here's a look at the exterior of the new school. This speaks to the materials, the texture, the scale of the building. We want to provide a building that's not imposing to the students, but welcoming. Now looking at the floor plans, this is the first floor of the school. In the light blue, that's the pre-K through 5 wing. At this level, we have kindergarten, pre-K, first and second grade, administration and guidance adjacent to the entrance. They have their own media center and their own cafeteria. That red dash line indicates a solid wall where the schools are separated. There's one door that's used for service that will be locked and alarmed at all times, and that'll limit any activity between the schools. Shifting over to the wing for grades 6 through 12, that's in a darker shade of blue. We have the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade located at this level. It's adjacent to the administration and the guidance for added supervision. Also, there's a teacher's planning area centralized in the plan, again for additional supervision of the grades 6, 7, and 8. In the center of the plan, we have the community wing. This serves activity for the grades 6 through 12 with an auditorium, a cafeteria, the arts, a video lab, band, and robotics. And if we shift north in the plan, we have the district office, custodial, and the kitchen. The second floor plan, in the pre-K through 5 wing, we have general classrooms for grades 3 through 5 and access to their dedicated gymnasium. The grades 6 through 12, these are general classrooms for the high school. And if we go into the community portion of the building, the shared core portion of the building, we have the gymnasium, a fitness room, an auditorium, and the media center. And here's a look at one of the exciting spaces we have in the plan. This is the STEM Commons. STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math, and focuses on 21st century learning. We have the robotics and the science labs, and they converge. The kids are working on a robotics experiment here, and this is one of the great aspects of this new school. Here's a look at the cafeteria. This is a cafeteria for grades 6 through 12. The middle school will have its own dedicated lunch, followed by 2 high school lunches. And how are these schools separated? This blue solid wall and the red dash line indicate the separation of the pre-K from the 6-12. That wall has one set of doors that will be locked and alarmed, and it's for service only. It will have key card access, and if that door is open, there'll be an alarm that goes back to the main office. They do share a kitchen. That's the only component that they share in this plan. Also, besides physically separating the buildings with the wall, visually they're separated. The pre-K 5 cafeteria views out to the north, and the 6-12 cafeteria views out to the south. So we're looking at different ways, not only physically separating with the wall, but also visually reducing the interaction between the two groups. Here's a look at the upper level. As you can see, the solid blue wall cutting through the gymnasiums, and that's how it's divided at the upper level. This building will be a green building. It has 2% additional reimbursement by the state, and it meets this important criteria for sustainable sites, water-saving features, energy efficiency, materials and resource, and proper indoor environmental quality. Were other options considered? Yes, there's many design alternatives considered. Here you can see 4 options that speak to different grade groupings: a 6-12 option, a 7-12 option, a pre-K 12 option, and a pre-K 8 option, of which many designs were studied on the junior senior high school site. Part of the criteria for evaluating these options, here you see the pre-K 8 option. These are some points that were taken from the Mars Consulting Group that studied the regionalization. This does not address grades 9 through 12. The 9 through 12 would have to be tuitioned out or a regionalization agreement prior to the MSBA approval. There's no excess capacity in surrounding towns. It would require the demolition of the junior senior high school. And with this type of plan, there would not be an auditorium or a football field or track. And this option would cost $7 million less than the pre-K-12 option that we're looking at. So through evaluating those options, the pre-K-12 option was the best option that met the need for the project. It's also the only option that can be converted into a regionalized school at no cost to Holbrook. And since February 2014, Holbrook and Avon have continued conversations on regionalization.